Imagine working for the most elite law enforcement agency in the world, trusted with the nation's most sensitive secrets, only to become its greatest betrayer. This is the story of Robert Hanssen, the man who compromised America's security from within the FBI for over 2 decades. But how did a seemingly loyal FBI agent become one of the most notorious spies for the Soviet Union, and later, Russia? Robert Hanssen joined the FBI in 1976, initially showing promise with his technical prowess and analytical skills. However, behind his facade of a devout Catholic and dedicated family man, Hanssen was hiding a dark secret. He had a lifelong fascination with espionage, collecting spy gadgets and immersing himself in the world of James Bond. This obsession would soon lead him down a path of betrayal. Hanssen's career within the FBI saw him in pivotal roles within Soviet counterintelligence units in New York and Washington, D.C. These positions granted him access to some of the nation's most classified information. It was this access that Hanssen exploited, passing thousands of pages of highly sensitive documents to the KGB, detailing U.S. strategies, military technologies, and the identities of American assets. Hanssen first began spying for the Soviets in November 1979, just 8 months after he joined a counterintelligence squad in the FBI's New York office. While on duty, he offered his services to the GRU by delivering a package to a GRU officer at a Soviet trade organization that he knew was not under surveillance by the FBI. In his communications with the GRU, Hanssen disclosed that he was an FBI agent, but withheld any other identifying details. Over the next year and a half, Hanssen engaged in secret exchanges with the GRU, receiving cash payments amounting to tens of thousands of dollars. Hanssen's initial decision to commit espionage was driven by a complex mix of factors: low self-esteem, a desire to showcase his intellectual superiority, a lack of conventional moral restraints, a belief that he was above the law, a lifelong fascination with espionage, the allure of financial rewards, and the perceived lack of deterrence. It is believed that the personality flaws and background issues Hanssen brought into the FBI played a more significant role in his decision to commit espionage than any experiences he had after becoming an agent. Hanssen exposed several double agents working for the United States within the Soviet and Russian intelligence communities. This included the identities of Dmitry Polyakov, a high-ranking Soviet military intelligence officer, Alexander Dmitrievich Ogorodnik, a Soviet diplomat and intelligence officer, as well as KGB officer Boris Yuzhin, who were executed as a result of his betrayal. He compromised numerous U.S. counterintelligence operations, including investigations into Soviet and Russian espionage activities. Hanssen provided detailed information on FBI techniques, sources, and methods, severely hampering U.S. intelligence efforts. He disclosed the existence of an FBI tunnel built under the Soviet embassy in Washington, D.C., which was used for eavesdropping, rendering the multi-million-dollar operation useless. Hanssen also provided the Soviets with top-secret U.S. nuclear war contingency plans, detailing how the United States would respond in the event of a nuclear conflict, including specifics about the U.S. continuity of government program. He passed on comprehensive details about the structure, capabilities, and activities of the U.S. intelligence community, including the National Security Agency and the Central Intelligence Agency, and provided classified information on how these agencies gathered and analyzed intelligence. Hanssen revealed advanced surveillance and communication technologies used by the FBI, compromising the techniques and technologies used in ongoing and future operations. He disclosed classified information on U.S. satellite and signal intelligence programs, including the specifics of satellite trajectories, capabilities, and data interception methods, undermining the U.S. strategic advantage in space-based intelligence gathering. Lastly, he provided information on U.S. encryption and decryption capabilities, enabling the Soviets and later the Russians to better protect their own communications and potentially intercept U.S. communications. But what set Hanssen apart was his meticulous tradecraft. He used a variety of techniques to avoid detection, each one more ingenious than the last. One of Hanssen's most effective methods was the use of dead drop locations. Dead drops are secret locations where information can be left for another party to retrieve without direct contact. Hanssen used several locations around Washington, D.C., including a specific site in Foxstone Park. He would leave packages under a footbridge and mark the site with a piece of tape or chalk as a signal for his handlers. He chose these locations with care, ensuring they were in places where he wouldn't arouse suspicion. His mastery of dead drops allowed him to transfer sensitive information without ever meeting his Soviet handlers face to face. But Hanssen didn't rely solely on dead drops. He also used covert communications to exchange information. One method was through encrypted computer disks. Hanssen would write his messages in code, encrypt them, and then hide the disks at predetermined locations. His handlers would retrieve the disks and decode the information. He was particularly cautious about digital security. Hanssen avoided using conventional mail or email, knowing they could be intercepted. Instead, he relied on physical handoffs and secure digital storage devices, always staying one step ahead of potential surveillance. Signals played a crucial role in Hanssen's spycraft. Simple, everyday objects became tools of espionage. A piece of adhesive tape on a signpost, a chalk mark on a mailbox, or an innocuous piece of litter. These were all signals to indicate a drop was made or a message was ready. These signals were part of a prearranged system. For instance, a strip of tape on a park signpost meant a package was waiting under a nearby bridge. This silent language allowed Hanssen to communicate with his handlers without uttering a single word or raising any suspicion. Robert Hanssen also used a Palm Pilot, a type of personal digital assistant, as part of his espionage activities. The Palm Pilot was one of the tools he employed to store and manage the sensitive information he was stealing. Hanssen used it to keep track of his communications with his handlers and to organize the data he was providing to the Russians. The Palm Pilot allowed him to manage and transfer classified information discreetly and efficiently, further aiding his long-term espionage efforts. While Hanssen was adept at avoiding detection, the FBI wasn't entirely blind. By the late 1990s, suspicions within the Bureau grew. Agents noticed that someone within the FBI was leaking highly sensitive information. The hunt for the mole began in earnest. The breakthrough came when a former KGB officer provided the FBI with a file containing Hanssen's fingerprint and a voice recording from a taped conversation. This evidence was pivotal, but the FBI needed more to ensure a conviction. The FBI set up a surveillance operation. They also closely monitored his activities and communications. However, Hanssen's paranoia and caution made this a delicate operation. Any slip-up could have tipped him off. In early 2001, the FBI decided it was time to act. They needed to catch Hanssen red-handed. On February 18, 2001, the FBI executed a carefully planned sting operation. Hanssen was observed making a drop at Foxstone Park. Moments after he placed a package containing classified documents under a footbridge, FBI agents moved in. When he was arrested, the FBI found a Palm Pilot among his possessions. This device contained copies of the documents he had given to his Russian contacts and stored a drop date, which detailed when and where the information exchanges would take place. For the FBI, discovering the Palm Pilot was the nail in the coffin, providing concrete evidence of Hanssen's espionage activities and solidifying their case against him. Hanssen's trial was swift. Faced with overwhelming evidence, he pled guilty to 15 counts of espionage. In exchange for his cooperation and to avoid the death penalty, Hanssen received a life sentence without the possibility of parole. He spent 22 years in prison and died in June of 2023 at the age of 79. His actions are a stark reminder of the high stakes in the world of espionage. The secrets he betrayed led to the execution of Russian agents working for the United States and compromised national security to an unprecedented extent. His story is not just one of betrayal, but also of the intricate dance between spy and counter-spy. His ability to evade detection for over 2 decades showcases the complexity and danger of espionage. It also highlights the relentless efforts of those who work to protect national security. The FBI's persistence in uncovering Hanssen's activities is a testament to their dedication and skill. Despite his sophisticated tradecraft, Hanssen's downfall was inevitable. In the shadowy world of espionage, no secret remains hidden forever. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the covert operations of Robert Hanssen. Stay tuned for more riveting stories from the world of espionage here on the Shadows Network. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for updates on our latest content.